Hi guys, my name is Megan and today I've got some steamy romance reads for you. Alright, so today's recommendation pile is probably not books for younger readers, and if you are a younger reader, please check with your parents before you check into any of these books, okay? Thanks. So today's recommendation pile is a bunch of my favorite steamy romance books. Let's just dive in to see what's in today's pile. So the first book I'd like to recommend for a steamy romance is going to be the Otherworld series. I've talked about this book series quite a bit, I think, actually. It's one of my favorite romance series. It follows three sisters and they each have like different magical powers, one's a witch, one's a shapeshifter, and one is a vampire. And they had been living in the Fae world, and then they joined kind of like the Fae version of the CIA, and then they were transferred over to Earth. And you know, from there they kind of have a bunch of mishaps and set in Seattle, which is also really cool. And in this world, the Fae and vampires, werewolves, all that kind of stuff are all out to the universe. Anyway, this series follows these three sisters as they find love and romance and all that kind of fun stuff. But I really like these books because they have some really great inclusivity within the romance. So we have everything from polyamorous relationships to same-sex relationships, being open about their whole sexuality, which is really awesome in a romance book. So the next book I'd like to recommend for this would be the Georgina Kincaid, also known as the Succubus Blues series. And this follows Georgina Kincaid, who is a succubus. And again, this one is also set in Seattle. Georgina and all of her friends are pretty much demons and vampires and, you know, like Fae creatures that are under the radar. So in this universe, the Fae are not out and about. But Georgina is kind of doing the bare minimum of her job for hell, and she kind of accidentally falls in love with a human, and this results in a relationship where they don't have sex, which is really interesting. And it's also her job to seduce people and buy their souls, which is really interesting. So I really love this, and it's probably one of the best demon romances that I've found in a while. So the next book I'd like to recommend, this one is definitely not for everybody, and that would be the Team Alpha series. This one is a series that follows this team of alphas that are kind of like a Navy SEAL team. They go and rescue people, and you know, it follows different members of the team as they fall in love. And it's just really interesting because one, it's werewolves, two, it's an LGBTQ werewolf story, so that's really awesome, and it's very open and it's very different from what a lot of romances that I read. So this one again is not for everybody. So the next book I'd like to recommend in this series is going to be the Whisper Hollow series. This one is really interesting because it's probably the most traditional style romance book that I have in this pile, but it's also got a lot of ghosts in it, so it's more of a paranormal romance, which is pretty awesome. So the main character, Karis, can see and talk to ghosts, and her boyfriend is a werewolf, and you know, all sorts of weird shenanigans going on in this tiny little town. There's magic everywhere, there's all sorts of really cool ghosts running around, like causing mischief, and it's just such an interesting little story that I just couldn't do this without this one. It's really great. And then the last book in this recommendation is going to be Red, White, and Royal Blue. This one is an LGBTQ story, and I just really loved this book. I love that it follows the son of the first woman president of the United States as he falls in love with one of the princes of England, and there's, you know, like an international incident that causes them to go from being enemies to like forced best friends by both of the staff for both sides of this problem that they caused, and then they turn out to be good friends, and then they fall in love with each other. And it's just such a cute romance story, and it's kind of like heartfelt and gooey and just like more romantic than I think any of the other books on this list end up being. Alright, so that is everything on my steamy romance recommendation for you guys. If you guys have any like steamy romance, paranormal, whatever type book, let me know down below. If you guys like this video, don't forget to hit the like button. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. You can also hit the notification button, and if you'd like to follow me on social media, check out the links down below. Alrighty, bye guys!